Hello class, today we're going to talk about electric cars. Our teammates are Yael Gómez Meléndez, Braulio Gustavo Quintero Reyes, Daniel Alejandro Rodríguez Garza, Sergio Armando García Gómez, and myself, Giovanni Bosco Fabian Chavez.
The first, electric car. Despite we see Tesla and electric cars as something new or innovative, this idea isn't new because it's almost over 200 years of existence of this idea. The first electric car was invented on 1852, but it failed for not having rechargeable batteries, and these batteries was made of plum, so it was so heavy and not very durable, so it was a fail for this car. In the next slide, we see other things of why it failed. The failure in resume is that the cost of production of electric car was more than a gasoline car. The sale of cost also it was bigger than a gasoline car, and the batteries were enough for the purpose and of the electric car because of the time, cost, also the size, and it was also they were so heavy. For example, to put in terms of money, a Ford car in that time it was 14,000 actual dollars for a Ford, while a Fritzl that was an electric car was almost $105,000 actually. So it was an amazing uh, distance between a gasoline car and an electric car, and it was not rentable for it was heavy and the less less time you can use it. So in the next slide, we see another topics of this, especially talking about the batteries.
Now, talking about the evolution of the batteries, well, the first cars were using plum batteries, as my teammate said, and they weren't very effective because they were very heavy, so the car couldn't really move fast. But later the technology like changed and they used a different systems for or a different material for these batteries that were called nickel cadmium, which was like the fusion of nickel and cadmium. And that made a little bit of like progress in terms of like evolution of the battery because now and they were using also alkali metals to reduce a little bit of the weight, and overall having a better performance. And since the other battery, the plum battery, wasn't rechargeable, these ones were rechargeable. And that's not the only evolution we saw in these cars. So right now, in the present day, the batteries are made of lithium, which we know lithium. We use lithium for batteries for phones, for laptops, and pretty much every battery nowadays. So with that, now you fix the old problems like the heavy weight, the bad performance, the all of these old like problems, right? But because of this change of technologies, we now see a new problem. We now are facing a problem of the recharge time. So we might have like better batteries, like lighter and stuff, and better performance. So now you have more power to go faster on an electric car, but still the recharge times are not quite there yet. Like if you want an autonomy of 14 kilometers, you need to recharge your car for 12 hours, which isn't really rentable nowadays. Yeah, we do have a little bit of solution for this problem, which is having like recharge stations every like 10 kilometers, I guess, in the US, because in Mexico and other Latin American countries, we don't really have a lot of charging like spots. But in the US, they are implementing this solution because we don't really have a lot of like um, kilometer durability radio with the rechargeable time. because we can recharge our battery like one day, but the performance of the battery is gonna perform like 14, 15, 20 kilometers, which isn't bad, but isn't quite there yet. And that's a problem we are facing today.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first automotive brand to create an electric car. And in this case, it was Peugeot with the BLB model, the light city vehicle, in 1941. In this case, it was a unique design. As you can see, it was only two seats, and the front wheels are in the regular location, but the rear wheels are a little bit closer, and the company said that this is going to be helpful to give better turns. So it was actually a performance design. So this was the first vehicle, and it was kind of unique. Next, one of the problems or one of the considerations that you have to take if you want to purchase one electric vehicle is the efficiency, the range, and the electric vehicles, they have some efficiency issues because the regular gas car, they have a range around 500 kilometers per tank, and the actual standard of the electric vehicles, they are about only 350 kilometers, so it's obviously less, and you actually have to consider this if you are going to make a road trip, so you can actually check if you are going to be able to make to your destination, or to check the charge stations, the time, and all those factors due to this efficiency issue. So that's why right now there is this conversation of if it is better the electric or the gas station, and we have to check all the considerations and all your characteristics that you want to actually choose one. So my actually advice is if you're going to have road trips, actually it's better to have a gas car. But if you're only going to be in your hometown, you can have an electric car. You will be having well, you having to spend on the gas, so it will be cheaper, and obviously you will be helping the environment with the electric car.
How many types of electric cars are there? There are four types of electric cars, which are hybrid. It works with two engines, the main combustion and the auxiliary electric. Rechargeable hybrid. The operation is the same as the hybrid, but with the possibility of recharging the battery directly from the electrical network. Extended range electric vehicle. In these vehicles, the main engines that powers them is electric. Electric, they work only with an electric motor and batteries that are recharged by connecting them to the electrical network. And will it reduce pollution? The electric car will reduce 40% of the pollutants in a city like Mexico City, but to generate the electrical energy that use this type of car, the power plants will have to resort to fossil fuels.
And so it is estimated that around 2030, many companies will go fully electric. Some companies like Volkswagen or Ford, as well as others, are starting to make plans for developing these models from around 2028 to 2035. And since there is a huge investment from companies, it is more likely that this production is being accelerated. And so also some of these countries have already implemented some like regulations so that cars are now like less consuming from sources like petroleum or diesel, and that is why it is a bright future for electronic cars.